Good morning, you guys. So if you are new here, my name is Lisa Medina. I am the writer of Wildfire Breaking Free, and I am sitting on my back porch right now. I'm actually out here to do my devotion, and I thought this will be a great time to make this video. And so, excuse me, this is very informal. We're gonna have some coffee and conversation together, so I hope that you're down for that. Let's dive in. Let me stop putting this off. Let's talk about this painful process of healing and breaking free from anything in your life that has been holding you back, that has just been troubling you. And here's the deal is obviously we've all had to go through seasons of healing and or dealing with pain, whether it's been pain of a loss or pain from hurts that someone has done to you, or even the pain of past regrets, things that you have done or shame that you have carried. And here's the deal is they have a way of it's kind of like the saying out of sight, out of mind. So they have a way of hiding beneath the surface. And I talked about this a little while back in a different way, talking about the roots that we have to recognize in our life. And they take root and they're there, but many times because they're beneath the soil, they're beneath the surface, they're deep inside, until they poke their ugly head out. And for me, what really shows me that this is happening is something will trigger me, and then all of a sudden, all this anger and frustration or fear will start to raise this ugly head, and I'm like, there's still something there. And that was me. Just a few months ago, quite a few months ago now, something triggered me in such a way that all of these feelings and this anger and these emotions came up that I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what is going on? And I had finally gotten to a place in my life where I was like, I am sick of this. I'm gonna tell you this, if you're at that place, don't make any major rash decisions. Because let me tell you, at the time, I just wanted to push everyone and everything away. I was so overwhelmed and frustrated and just angry and sick and tired of being in that place, coming back to those emotions, feeling that way. I was like, God, we got to figure this out. I've got to finally break free. You guys, Wildfire Breaking Free is a title that just spoke to my heart, and I know it's because it's the desire of my heart to truly break free. God died for us to live life abundantly. That doesn't just mean riches or anything else. That means freedom from our past, freedom from fear and all of these things. And yet so many times we walk around and we're just living in that because we choose to. And many times we choose to without really recognizing it, because it is almost like our security blanket. We keep people at a distance thinking that we're keeping ourselves safe from further hurt or whatever else, when really we're like digging our own grave. And I was so sick and tired of being in that place of living in fear when God said that He doesn't give me a spirit of fear. And so I began this journey with God, and I just got serious. I started journaling. So grateful that I did. I just knew in my heart, like, I got to get this on paper. I don't want to forget this. There is something powerful about sitting down and having that time to put your thoughts out on paper, write it out, and be able to see it, and then go back and read it sometimes. And then even years later, to be able to go back and say, look what God did. There's power in that. And it was a freeing part of this journey that God walked me through. Every single day, almost, and every week, there was something different that God was working in me and working out of me and walking me through a different level of understanding. Now, here's the deal: is we all have our own timing, our own process, God's relationship with us is so personal, so intimate. So I'm not telling you that this is what you have to do to break free. I am just going to be sharing with you what works, what has just helped me get to this place where I finally feel like, wow, first of all, I didn't even realize so much of the things, and I'll share that a little bit more in depth, but that were really just holding me back from enjoying the blessing of the life that God had already given me. Like, I wasn't even fully enjoying the marriage and the family and the life that God had blessed me with, that just has blown me away. I'm very aware of it, but I wasn't able to truly just fully immerse myself in it, if that makes sense, because of these fears and this anger and this resentment towards myself, towards just different people, towards my husband, ways that we had done things that I felt bad about. We did things backwards, and And I wish that we wouldn't have. And well, let me put it like this. God's instruction, God's word, a lot of people look at it as a list of things not to do. It's like this box that it puts us in, right? It's not. I used to look at it like that a little bit. Now I realize that God is our creator and he loves us so much. And like a parent who tries to pour into their child and teach them things because from their experience, they know that they're going to get hurt if they do this, or this just isn't very beneficial to them. It would be better this way, or whatever. That's God's instructions to us in his words. He's saying, son, daughter, I made you. I created you. I know how your mind works. I know how your heart, your soul, I know how your emotions, all of it. I know how it functions, and I want you to be free. I don't want you to be full of fear or full of regret or have to go through this pain. And so therefore, I'm telling you how you can live to help avoid some of that. And I'm telling you how to deal with those things. I'm telling you how to give it to me. And yet we always try to do it our own way. At least I did. And so I went through this time of journaling, writing, pouring out my heart, pouring out my soul to God, praying. And here's the deal. For me, I'm going to be honest with you, there was a lot of things I had to deal with. And I literally went back to my childhood. And I allowed myself to bring up every memory of past hurt, things that had happened to me, things that I did. I don't know about you, but there's times where it's crazy. I know it's the enemy because here I am, a much older woman, but things from my childhood that I did that I regret and that I feel bad about, sins that I committed will come up, and I will remember it so clearly, and I will feel so much shame. And sometimes I find myself asking for forgiveness for the same thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. If God has already forgiven me, why am I still begging for forgiveness and carrying this shame? That's not God. That's the devil basically tormenting me over something that I've done, but I've already asked forgiveness for, and it's so far down the road, like, you know, and yet we do that, right? I went through everything and I listed it down on paper. I listed all of the hurts, all of the regret, all of the shame, all of the bitterness, every bit of it. But then I also listed all of the beauty, all of the blessings, all of the things that I'm like, this shouldn't even be my life. Or, yeah, I had a baby at 17, but look what God did in my life when I gave it to him. Look at all the blessings, the things that, you know, I never would have thought I would have experienced in life. And yet, because of God's grace, because of his mercy, because he is so good to me, I have experienced these. And yet I'm holding myself down. And what happened was I seen this list of all these horrible things and I numbered it. And then I've seen this list of God's grace and the goodness of God in my life, and it far outweighed the bad. And I had this moment where I said, why am I holding myself back, not allowing myself to see that God's grace, God's forgiveness, his mercy, his blessings in my life already, even if he never did another thing, has already far outweighed all the bad. And yet here I am carrying this burden. Here I am condemning myself, living in fear, allowing myself to just be bound when I should be walking in freedom and rejoicing every single day. And as I slowly went through this process, I don't know about you, but sometimes God has to work on me little by little, because I guess it takes a while for things to just really get through my thick skull sometimes. And I can tell you this though, by the end of the process, I was able to look at things that for so long I had looked at in a negative light, but God shed this light on it and just revealed the truth of it, if that makes sense. And so I'm really praying that as we talk about this and I share these blog posts, that is what happens to you. That whatever has been holding you back, whatever hurt, whatever fear, whatever pain it is, that the truth of Jesus Christ and what he died for and how much he loves you and how much he wants you to be free, even here on earth, that we don't have to wait till heaven to walk in freedom. We already have a hope. God has already gone before us and prepared a place for us. He has already told us that as soon as we ask for forgiveness and we invite Jesus into our heart, that he forgives us. We have a place in heaven. He's already done that for us. He wants us to walk in that truth, into that freedom. He wants us to let go of whatever it is that's holding us back and just trust him fully and walk in a freedom and a joy of the Lord that so many people on this earth, I truly believe, will never experience, not because they can't, but because they won't. We tend to try to figure it out ourselves. And so through this process, I would love to hear from you guys as well. And if there is a way that I can pray for you, please let me know. If you are at that place where you feel like you're about to break and you feel like your heart, your soul is so heavy and you just can't take it anymore, turn to God. That is exactly where you need to be. In this moment, I know it hurts. I know it's heavy. I know it's scary. But trust me, if you turn to God instead of trying to figure it out yourself or running the other way, and you get serious about getting into his word, praying, and turning it over and saying, I didn't even realize all the things. Going through this process was so powerful, so purposeful, and so freeing. And so I just encourage you, if you're in this place where you're battling with it, fight the urge to just be angry and stay in it. Fight that urge. Dig in and get serious with God. Get serious. If you seek him, you will find him. That's in his word. So seek his face. Let him know. He already knows. But you humble yourself and you tell him, God, I need you. This is where I am. I cannot be here anymore. Walk with me. Show me what I need to see. Heal the places that are hurt. Heal the places that are broken. Forgive me once and for all. I know you already have, but let me forgive myself. Let me forgive others once and for all. Allow me the ability to see them the way that you see them. Give me the ability to walk in the freedom that you have died for me to have. I just pray that over every single one of you who may stumble across this video. If it touched you, share it. Any human being who's walking this earth has experienced hurt, has regret, has pain, has a past, and has a future that's coming that will carry new hurts, that will carry new pain. Pray that the truth of God and the process that he wants and desires to take us all through is something that we will surrender to and go for. God bless you. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this and pass it along. Keep checking back here on the blog, and definitely follow me on Instagram. For the next month or so, I'm going to be sharing a lot more about healing, about God's freedom, and how to walk in it. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a great day.